Chat. Chaticus. Chaticles. The fabled Chat. What's up? What is going on? I don't know why I do this at the beginning of streams. It's honestly not something I give much thought to. You know? I don't wake up in the morning thinking, am I going to keep doing that at the start of the stream? That thing. It just happens. I just do it. But nonetheless, here we are. Here we are on this Monday afternoon for some of us, a good portion of us. I hope you all had a good weekend. I did. I forgot to move my curtain. Let me do that. Oh, the day when I don't have to deal with the curtain. Oh, the day. What's going on? What is going on, my friends? Kurgan Gray with the 10-stream streak. Okay is right. And Kronzik with the 20-stream streak. Both of those deserve a hearty applause. Very cool. I do have books behind the curtain. The question is, how many of them have I read? That's really the question. And it's less than you think. Let's see. Kurgan in the house. Good to see you, Kurgan, with your 10-stream streak. Dosi as well. What's up, Dosi? Joskar in the house. Alinar, Cut Off Your Head, Visibility, Spectre, Briar, Kronzik with that 20-stream streak. That's wild. Wolfgar, Nagasaki, Gwimchim, Lowriser. Welcome to you all. Sir Polygon. Job, I have to credit you and VR and the rest of the team for the great communication and info you've put out this whole month. An absolute win. Good to hear it. Very glad to hear it. Rune Links, good to see you. We got Redbeard in the house. Redbeard Flynn. We have Tanhawk as well. Chris Frozen, good to see you guys. Ianidin, Zach Dies, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Maze was unavailable. Good to see you. Dilbo Bagskin. Sinlytic. We've got Lone Dog. Good to see you, Lone Dog. Kurgan, which I've already said hello to, but I'm going to say your name again. The Great Vindini. Tingjing. It's harder than you guys think to read these names and say hello to everybody and keep track of who you've said hello to. It's harder than you think. Kikalik, good to see you. Anathem, good to see you as well. Black Fox in the house. Welcome. Welcome. Curbs. See you, Curbs. Pink Mingo. AK. Papa Heels. Welcome. Good to see you guys. Glorf. Hello, I'm new here and 7 days old in Pantheon. I want to thank you for a great game. 18-year EQ player. That's awesome. Zandria owns. That is awesome. Skiach as well. Good to see you. And let's not forget our good friends over in YouTube land. We've got Fluffy Wuffy, Rimiel, Super Trash. By the way, Super Trash, thank you so much for the gifted membership. And Gratz Flange, or Flang, or Flong. But I think Flange is how you pronounce that. We got Jason as well. We've got James Denny, Good to see you guys. We've got Blobkins, Thet the Monk. Thet the Monk. Welcome to you all. Good to see you, Dennis, as well. Theron. After playing some of a newly released unnamed early access MMO, let's just say I can't wait for the spring Pantheon wipe and to jump back into Terminus. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I wasn't going to play till 1.0, but now I'm excited to play again with the wipe. Nice, James. Good. Good. Do you still think it was a good idea to announce the wipe so early? You lost almost half the active people. I'm going to say what I said the first time. For me personally, what was most important, I would much rather eat a drop in population and be on the side of integrity, so where it's not going to be a surprise to anybody and everyone knows and understands that a wipe is coming well in advance, and work our friggin' butts off to make the spring update as awesome as it can possibly be, so that when it rolls around, we will hopefully, my hope, I could be wrong, of course, but my hope is that we will see even more numbers than we had at the height of before we made the announcement. Is there logic behind saying you should have waited? Of course. Like, that is something we could have done. But I know that if we waited till, a week before or even a month before, that's just that it's that many more people who purchased the game and would not have had any idea that this was coming. And so I think for the sake of our players and our potential customer base, I think it was the right decision to make. That's just where I land. Does it sting? Yes, it does. But I'm also aware that, we've got, Ashes of Creation just became available to play. There's a lot of people playing that. I think once the Mounts and Taming drop hits, I think once the experience bonus hits, I do think we'll see that population come back up, because I think it will be easier in that sense to justify continuing to put some time into the game, even knowing that that's coming, because you'll be able to level a lot faster. So that's my hope. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Believe me, I feel it, guys. I feel it too. You know why I feel it? Because on my Warrior, I've spent some time farming all kinds of stuff that I want to sell, and there's nobody buying it right now. And that sucks, because look at all this frog meat that I farmed. And the blood. And the carrots. I want to sell this stuff, and nobody's buying it. So I feel it. I do. But no, seriously, if you want to buy it, please buy it. Yes. Raldrin, thank you so much for the tier 1, 12 months, and for the 13 months of support. Looking forward to the spring update. Yes, indeed. Ianidin with the tier 1, 3 months, and the 16 months of support. My friend, thank you so much. Guys, it is so appreciated. So appreciated. Let's see. RuneLink says, Joppa, today's diary is very melee-oriented. Can you please speak to how casters will work into the changes when you go through it? Yeah. This is one of those things where I noticed right around when we released it today, I was thinking through the diary. I was working on it for a while yesterday, and then I realized something that I had missed, which is exactly that. Like, what is this? Not that there's still obviously a lot to glean from, for the implications on everybody, but specifically for casters, I was thinking about that. And so what I would say, even though I hate saying it in retrospect, but what I would say is, if you main a caster and you're interested in like effects on casters, read the diary as if your spell skills are going to matter in much the same way as a melee character's melee skills. That's the best way to put it. Your spell skills, your conjuration, your fortification, your evocation, things like that, those will matter in the same way as a melee character's melee skills. So I apologize that little little note wasn't in there, but hopefully you guys can help us put that on blast and make sure that's known. Mana back techniques, yeah. So those would be examples of utility techniques. Yeah, you'd be able to have one of those slotted at a time. Whenever we do kind of our new, some of our UI changes, you'll see that there will be 3 slots for your techniques, and those will have, you know, a specific kind of technique that can go in each one, and you'll pick which one, which damaging technique do I want, which reactive, which utility, and you'll slot those out as you desire. Yo, Tavi, the 7-stream streak. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Black Lotus, hey Joppa, about future classes, I'd really love to see the Beast Lord one day. The feral style you mentioned, not the EQ one. Permanent tameable pets or some pet options you can switch between. I think he should definitely shapeshift into different forms. Call in ancestral spirits for his buffs and debuffs. He would combo with his pet, pack strike, bond mend, call the herd, etc. Maybe use only spears, one-hand axes, and fist weapons, feral and deadly. I think it would be sick. I do. I think it's a really strong class idea. Really strong. I'm bound by our very patient and passionate community to not talk about any future classes until the Bard is in the game. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But I think it is a very strong class idea, for sure. For sure. Let's see. He lives. Loved the line where it said your only maxed skills will be the ones you actively work on, just like EQ. Leveling skills has been way too easy for far too long. Agreed. I will say overall, I think it's a great idea. My favorite part being that it's something to work on to progress other than gear drops. Yeah, that's the big part for me too, is being able to incorporate some character power aspects into the skill progression. I think is really nice because exactly that it offsets that. I mean, look at this character. Like, if you watch the first warrior video I did, I loved it because I found this spot where I got this +1 strength jerkin, +1 stamina pants, and +1 strength boots. Since then, let me just double check to make sure I'm accurate here. But since then, I have not found a single other piece that you would consider an upgrade. You know, I have a 4 damage dagger. Yeah, I do very, very little DPS right now, even for a warrior. And so the idea that as I, you know, if I'm unable to find a group or, you know, I can't seem to get lucky on the drop that I want, knowing that if I'm really focused on daggers and I'm really leaning into daggers, that I'm going to be able to see a benefit from that in my power. I think that's going to be a really nice touch for some of that horizontal progression. I've only got 30 minutes to play, only got an hour to play, don't have time to get, you know, stuck into a deep group for a long time. Well, then I'm just going to focus on getting my dagger skill up a little bit if I can and feel those gains. There's also some cool things that we actually originally had in the dev diary that I decided to take out yesterday, last minute, because I want them to be a little bit of a surprise. Some things that I would consider not like, they're not fundamental to like understanding how it's all going to work. It's nothing like core or critical like that, but it's just some extra little things that are just there for kind of cool factor and prestige factor that I want you guys to kind of figure that out and discover that on your own. Oxnell, great point. Let me actually shift over to the game view here, and we'll figure this out. So what I might do, well, honestly, we need to just kind of clean up all this real estate. I don't know if, because I kind of don't want to move the chat, but what I can do is move the group view over, because I feel like the chat's the thing that's going to be the most, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the group window would be the more like obstructive thing, but all right, so let's talk real quick about what we're going to do today, and then we can get back onto the topic of the diary while we kind of move in that direction. I really want to group, and one of the things, I was talking to Fuso about this yesterday a little bit, and as amazingly helpful as it's been to really, be sinking a lot of time into playing these different characters, playing them legit, having, a lot of different experiences of the game, still obviously more to come as we get higher level, but his feedback was, you're always in twinked groups. So we're not getting as much of a like full sense. You're not having as much of a full sense of the experience as you could if you were in a group that wasn't twinked. So my invitation for today, and I know I mentioned the Galdassi ruins. I've been only in Wild's End on this guy. I just hopped a ride over here this morning in prep, because I think what I've decided to do actually is the Goblin Caves. So, level 9 warrior, level 9 tank, looking for group, Goblin Caves. But you have to be legitly equipped. Legitly. For this level. Okay? Legitly. Now, with that being said, let's get back to business. And send me a tell in game if you're interested. I'm on Storm Mona 0. I am headed to the Goblin Caves right now. And yeah. Let's see. Eladomri, hi Joppa, wanted to ask if it's possible to enchant weapons with an element. I just thought that enchanter was okay. They're looking for a group for HC. I mean, I don't know if we should try HC at level. I'm a level 9 tank. I don't know if that would be a good idea. I don't know. Is it possible to enchant weapons with an element similar to what they do in No Rest for the Wicked? We do actually have a weapon enchantment and an item enchantment system planned. I don't remember exactly how it worked in No Rest for the Wicked, so I can't comment on the similarities, but we do have that planned. What's up, old blue eye? Well, Luliso, I totally understand that, man. And I'm sorry to hear that. I get that. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe once and I hate trying to Eleanor, I can't. Oh, you're in Thurville. Okay. Gotcha. All right, I'll get you when I zone over. Hopefully once the patch drops, I don't know, maybe it'll stir up some interest. What happened to the Dim 3 design? You might we still have some work to do in Dimith, but you might see, some steps in that direction. What's the highest level I've ever played a character to from start to finish? Never using, hey there. Come on. Come on in. The highest level character I've ever played from start to finish without using dev commands. Legitly, the highest level character I've ever played from start to finish without using any dev commands, without using anything dev related, is my current Necromancer. I've played a lot of higher level characters. I've put in some good time on characters that have been at higher levels in different parts of the game's like life cycle, but not in a through played legitimate from start to finish, just totally legit way. And what's really funny is, in a way, it could be seen as a good thing given how addicted I am to this game. I'm sure that you think that I'm memeing, but it has been a little problematic trying to do all the things that need to be done while like I've been really eager, for example, to try Ashes of Creation. I have not tried it because I haven't been able to justify, buying into it at this point, just based on, our personal financial situation and things like that. I just haven't been able to justify it. And I haven't even gone to the Steam page yet. That's not saying anything about Ashes, guys, because I am still excited to try it. But I have a problem right now. But the good news is, with all of the classwork that we have coming up, there are times where it's more and less congruent with our efforts and the work that we're doing to spend embarrassing amounts of time playing Pantheon. Now is one of the times where it's actually like very, very adjacent to what we're doing. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy about that indeed. You think we could do HC with 2 healers? Whoa, Sigil with the 5 gifted subs, my friend. Thank you so much, Sigil. That's awesome. Thank you. Sorry I'm late on the thank yous on that. That's awesome. Woo. Very, very cool. Very cool. And Let You Live. Thank you as well. Thank you for the tier 1, the 11 months. What is going on, Let You Live? All right, sorry about that. Let's keep on rolling. I will say, if you have Super Trash in your group, the heals are unlocked. Super Trash, are you in the group? Alinar. Let's see how the Goblin Caves goes, and then we'll make a decision if we want to, I don't know, ship to Halnir Cave, maybe. I'm not going to make this mistake again. I'm not... Let's go this way. All right, let's go this way. Yo, Tarmagans, thank you so much for the Prime. Thank you. Thank you. Sweet Christmas. Okay, we're good. We're good. Just nope, nope. Okay. Hmm. Oh yeah, I just noticed that the microphone with the where the health bar is. That's funny. Let me see if I can something like that. There we go. Ah, yes. Invite. Having a. I think soft. I think we have 2 healers. So unless we lose one, I'll just consider you on the list if we need a replacement healer. We need one more. We need another DPS. Let me put my little starter buckler on here. Yep, we'll get Maga Mage. There we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, come on down. Now again, the expectation here is that you're not twinked, right? So this needs to be a non-twinked group. I did bind, right? You're now bound. Okay, cool. Cool. We need a /care info command so we can see where we're bound. That'd be nice. Yay! Dude, I'm already almost out of this drink. That's ridiculous. Ah. Sigil, that sounds very much like something I would do, actually. Yeah, Briar. I know when the patch is going to be this week. I don't know when they're going to announce it. And I'm assuming that they haven't announced it yet, just because there's potential that it might fluctuate, like what day. So hopefully it'll get up soon. Boop, boop. All right, our group has been formed. We're here. But yeah, it seems like anyway, the feedback on the diary, the dev diary, is positive. I was interested in what the reception would be, because there's been this divide between it seems like a part of the community that loved the way the techniques used to be and are sad that it went away, and then obviously the community that's glad that it went away, that's glad that it's the way that it is now. But there's, I think, generally speaking, kind of this idea that it feels like techniques are just kind of, I don't know, like they haven't landed yet, and I agree. But like I said in Discord this morning, there's the however much we can get away from like eyes on bars, eyes on icons, and introduce more eyes on game, eyes on world, the better. And I think I'm just really excited about the direction we're headed with this now, because it checks all the boxes, and it also is when you consider it in the context of some of the updates to NPC traits, because even NPC traits is as good of a system as that is, and I think as generally excited and kind of warm to the idea as our player base has been since we started talking about it, the initial implementation was just not great, because we only had a few of them in play, and because of that, you saw them so consistently, and they were very punishing for certain classes, Iron-Willed especially. So, oh yeah, do we have a Necro? We don't really have a... I guess our Necro is our main CC, but we have 2 healers, so it'll be nice when Necros have a little bit more of their kit. I think we're good. Yeah. And I don't think that it's necessarily that we couldn't have gotten there. I think with enough UI UX work, we could have gotten to a point where you would at least, well, it's all part of the general clarity issue, right? Like there is a general clarity issue that we have with what's going on in combat, being able to ascertain that quickly and make decisions quickly. You know, the whole tarsal flurry thing with the spider, you know, it's funny because it's like, the reality is that now that I've been playing the game more and more and more, yeah, I've learned that that's what spiders do. So I've learned to watch for it. But even when I know that it's going to happen, it can still be hard to see. And so you take that general issue into account, and then you start adding in this, like, now I need to hit my button in a sequence that corresponds with when you hit your button, and we need to make sure we do it in this order and in this timing. And it's just, Well, Lethal, I want to make sure I understand that perspective a little bit. So you're saying on your monk, you run 2 damage techniques, and on your rogue, you run 4 damage techniques. So reducing that to 1, but that 1 damage technique is going to be based, number 1, on your weapon choice, right? So are you daggers? Are you swords? Are you maces? Are you spears? Are you 2-handed spears? And then the damage techniques, you know, having some differentiation and some flavor between them. But then your choice of, like, your reactive technique. So are you going to be slotting a technique, well, again, based on your weapon? And then are you going to be slotting a technique that is meant to address an armored NPC, a tinkerer, a frenzied, a spell slinger, a dark foe, a staggerer, a predator? Like, when these, as we get more and more of these traits into the game, what are you as a class, and then with your particular weapon choices and with the techniques that you've unlocked for yourself, which one are you going to be able to bring into that situation. And maybe nobody has them. Maybe nobody's gotten them yet or knows where to get them or whatever it is. And then you have your utility technique. But I think, speaking of damage, like ultimately the class kits are also going to grow a little bit. So it could be that, they're going to grow, and then they're also going to, with mastery, you're going to be able to, in that growth, you're going to be able to specialize a little bit more. So it might be that instead of having 4 damage techniques, you have a single damage technique, but because of how your class has been, specialized more through mastery, you actually have a couple more damaging abilities, like rogue abilities on your bar than you would typically run. But I think as it stands right now, the techniques just became kind of an extension of the action bar just for like instant damaging attacks, which is why, running 4 of them, I think, has become a thing where you just have these 4 additional damage attacks that you can do. And I think we can probably layer that more into just the general combat of the class abilities, as opposed to having to have 4 different techniques to do it. Is my audio off? My goodness. Anyway, kind of a hot take. I'm interested to hear more of like where you're coming from with that. And guys who I'm grouping with, just please know this is technically my first time like tanking on a warrior in a group context. We're gonna play it by ear, okay? And I'm gonna do my best not to embarrass myself and by proxy embarrass you all. But it is what it is. And if there's somebody that enjoys pulling, I don't particularly enjoy pulling, so I'm not gonna be fussed on it if somebody's like, hey, I'd really like to pull. So what I need to make sure I'm doing here is learning what things I can interrupt, what things I can't, and then when I need to time my blocks. So that time at Wild and Goblins doesn't count? I wasn't tanking, was I? Wait, what? What am I forgetting? I was the tank, there was a ranger too? Wow, I have no idea. That's what class? What character was I on? Well, and yeah, for today, I might not be able to talk as much. Who am I losing aggro to here? I'm losing aggro to our Necro. I can't see. Blurred vision. Excellent. I'm hoping we're going to get a weapon drop in here early, because my 4 damage dagger I know is kind of part of the problem. Pleasure Prate. Pleasure Prate. Pleasure Prate. If these guys drop a warrior usable weapon, let me know, and we can definitely roll on it, but yeah, make sure I don't miss it. So is pressure... I did it again. Is pressure plate able to be... Oh, wait, what? Tank dagger? Huh? Oh, did you pick it up? Does anybody else need it? Ooh, wow, that was nice. Cool. Cool. Dude, the lighting is just wild. I will go ahead and handle interrupting the pressure plates as they come. So one of the things I can tell you guys after playing the warrior to at least level 9, here's a couple of my current takeaways from my experience so far. Number 1, we really need to get Strike of Breaking back to a point where it is a stacking debuff, because in talking with Fuso about it a little bit, one of the things we both agreed on is that the warrior right now, number 1, really does not have any hard-hitting abilities, which feels really bad. Compared to, you know, the other tanks, they just don't have like a good heavy hitting ability. Number 2, the health requirement, like the health range or health threshold requirement on Pulverize, also feels really bad. Lo and behold, for the reasons that you guys have already mentioned, i.e., by the time something is at 40% health or less, actually, we probably don't want to be going down here, do we? We want to keep moving up this way. By the time something is that low on health, then, you know, the benefit that you get is just way too short-lived. So it feels weird. It'd be better to do, I think it'd be better to have something like that. Like, give them a hard, like, if Pulverize is going to end up being kind of like a hard, heavy-hitting ability for the warrior, give them a shout that is more about, you know, reducing, like, the damage output of the NPC or something like that, as opposed to Pulverize. It's also going to be really good to give warriors something like a bleed. I think at the level you get Pulverize, well, maybe not even at the level you get Pulverize, but introducing a bleed... Because what I like, the feeling that I like about classes, when I feel like a class is in a good place, is when you can engage the target. Like, I'm not a big fan of rotations at all. Specifically when it's rotations that are like long and you have to kind of continue to cycle through them and hit the marks at the right time. I'm thinking like raiding in WoW on like a rogue, those kind of rotations. But what I do like are shorter sequences. So kind of like I got into with the rogue, for example, where I've learned at least my approach with the rogue has been, let's keep heading this way, has been a certain kind of combination or certain kind of sequence of abilities. In the warrior, I'd love for it to be the same way. So if you imagine, like, you know, when you engage a target, you come in and you open with like a Strike of Breaking, and then and then you kick, and then you do another strike of breaking stack, and then you apply a bleed, and then you do your final strike of breaking stack. And then at that point, you've got, you know, some good aggro, because those strike of breaking stacks are building threat. Your bleed ticks are building threat. Maybe you've got like an angering blow in there or something other than the kick. And then at that point, your sequence ends, right? Like you've done kind of your opening sequence, and then you've got time to do more like reactionary things. You know, you're not maintaining a rotation the whole time, but you have these little like pulses, these little like sequences that you do, and then it's more free. And then you get to a point where you know, maybe need to do that sequence again, or a slightly different one or something like that. I think that would feel good. Low there. But anyway, stacking striker breaking is a big one. Building in some more shouts and things like that for the warrior is also a big one. And then getting them bleed, and I keep missing that pressure plate. From an early level warrior's perspective, I think that would feel good. That's kind of what I'm wanting at the moment. Use striker breaking more. Okay. Yeah, damage mitigation too, for sure. Fatigue Spirit, Silkbound, okay. We got two. Okay. Okay, okay. Hold on a sec. Lethal, did you have any thoughts on what I just said earlier? Sorry if I missed it, if you responded already. Any idea when we'll be getting a raid UI? I don't. I don't know exactly when that's going to come in just yet. Cannot interrupt that. Miss. So Ray Dill, we did talk about that. We talked about bleeds and, you know, kind of how that relates to Dire Lords. But the thing of it is, I don't think just because Dire Lords are bleed themed, blood themed, I don't think that means that warriors can't have a bleed. I think it just means that, honestly, where we landed is I think Dire Lords could use some more bleed oriented type abilities, that kind of situation, you know, where not only do Dire Lords have ways of applying bleeds and causing bleeds, but they also have ways of empowering bleeds and strengthening bleeds and riffing off of bleeds, you know, to do other things. I think that's really more where we want to drive that distinction. Not just like only this class can cause bleeds, but more like which class can actually like manipulate bleeds. And I think the Dire Lord would benefit from some more of that vibe. Yeah, XP's not bad. Not bad at all. You're definitely making a new warrior when the spring comes around. Nice. I've been really enjoying mine, and I'm also on a quest to really like... I want the warrior to have kind of their glory, you know? Like warriors sacrifice a lot. They don't have cool spells. You know, they don't have kind of like the self-healing and the a lot of those other things, and so they have their own kind of peculiar like glory, you know? And so I'm on a quest to really like find and understand that and where it's lacking. And these are yeah, they're indifferent. Okay. I main warrior and will always play it, but it needs a lot of work. The aggro is bad, and we don't have a way to stay alive. Shield block is all we got, yeah. Yeah, and I don't want you to feel too much like a bard either. Where do we want to go? Let's stop for 1 second and decide this. Where would we like to go? What would be a good camp for this group? Do we just want to focus on XP? Or do we want to try to get a name on unlock? Doom or Quiet? I have not yet. I haven't had a chance to play Ashes yet. I do plan to, though. I mean, most of the good stuff. Let's go this way. Do. I responded by, but I can summarize it again, no problem. Limited action bar. Imagine trying to move the missing damage techniques to our limited action bar as is. Currently, there will not be any room for them to go down there. I think the only way would be if some of the abilities could be moved up to the utility section. For example, Monk Feign Death moved up, or Rogue Escape Artist moved up. Okay, yeah. And that could very well be the case. I mean, that's those kind of decisions are definitely on the table, for sure. Hey, there's an axe. Ooh. Does anybody need this axe? 6 damage, 1 constitution. I am more than happy to roll on items. They do not all need to go to me. They should not all go to me. So if you need any of these, please speak up. We shall roll. Okay. Let's keep moving. I mean, Lethal, if the damage that you're currently getting from those 4 damage techniques was made up for in just increasing damage that rogues are doing through their other abilities, for example, without needing all 4 techniques, and the damage of the single damage technique was higher, is it more of an issue of like loss in DPS damage output, or is it more of an issue in loss of APM? Two-handed mace. Both. Okay. All right, we're going to go downstairs because I'm making bad decisions. Should we? Should ask that first. Should we? Anybody have any objections? Let's do it. Everything's missing. Everything I do is missing. So we're on a good track. Oh, my sweet Christmas. Oh. I know, right? Thank goodness for the Titan here. Now, this is... I'm just trying to think, like... Obviously, there's a level difference. There's also a skill difference. I don't know what my axe skill was. It's pretty low. It's pretty low. So that's a part of why I'm missing, obviously. But I'm also just trying to think, like, what tools do I really have right now to, like, hold this aggro? I've got taunt on cooldown every 10 seconds. Parrying all my interrupts. Come here. Miss. What's going on here with my... This is that bug, right? Like, my axe's skill is improved to 26, but I only see 19 out of 30, so... Yeah. Wait, do I have Mocking Blow? I do. Come on now. Hold on, let me think for a second. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, as long as it's... I mean, the skill's actually going up, so that's all I really care about. Ugh. Get off. There's two. Hit, hit, hit. I can't get too mad. These things are orange. I am getting a little mad, though. Okay. I need to be careful not to use taunt unless I need to, though. If I can have it ready. Oh my goodness, it's actually stayed on me for a few seconds here. Dude, the misses are... like, what? Oh, whoops. Sorry, I was reading Lethal's message. Yeah, orange con should equal a lot of misses. I don't have max weapon skill. I think I just hit max weapon skill, but yeah, I don't... Orange is definitely, unless I've got, you know, unless there's like a way to debuff the target's avoidance or to increase and buff our accuracy, things like that, then yeah, orange should be certainly harder to hit. And at this level, we just don't have a whole lot of tools to deal with that increased miss rate. So it is what it is right now. It's fine. But I dinged level 10. Well, taunt the target force. It's all it's doing now, because we changed this because warriors were feeling like they had to use it on cooldown because... Oh my. Are we ready for 2? See if I can what is this? I don't... Oh, I have my abilities on me. Hold on. I was intelligent and got my abilities and my my trait. So here we go. It's a little bit more hit rating there. Sweet. All right. Hold on, let me add these to my bar real quick. Shield prowess is innate passive, don't need to add that. Punish. Yes. Oh yes. All right. We're gonna do 2 here, guys. Here we go. I'm feeling extra spicy now that I just dinged and got the oh. I'm on the keeper. They're both CC immune, so as long as we're all holding on to our butts, should be fine. Okay. I think I've reasonably gotten this thing's attention. Okay. That was... I don't want to use that while it's casting, because then I don't get any benefit. I mean, it's almost hard to know what I'm actually accomplishing because I'm missing everything. Goodness. Okay. Good. Okay. Well, we survived. We survived. Punish is big for holding threat? Yeah. Close my bags, you animal. Did I put the chest piece on? No, I did not. Let me look at that. Oh. What do I lose strength, though. And punish is strength. We need to keep moving, though. We don't want to stay in one spot. I don't think we want to go down to, like, we can't do Terraformer. I don't think we're strong enough to do Corrupted Goblin, so maybe we can just, like... Hello. Maybe we can just hang out in this hall and kind of get some levels. We got an ad. The one I'm fighting is iron-willed. The other one is not. We have many things happening here. Many things. This is where I feel like Pantheon gets annoying. Because of this clarity issue. Like, just being able to clearly, like, see what's going on without having, like, markers or anything. Like, I can't... And it's especially punishing in pickup groups, because, like, when crap hits the fan like this, and you're not in voice comms, everyone just kind of, I don't know, kind of goes wild. I'm on the Mystic next. I'm gonna go ahead and just miss on the Mystic quite a bit. This is a spell slinger, so man, the cast times are super fast. Go for spider. Okay. Spider it is. Lag. Whew. This group is doing very well in spite of me. All right. Wow. Is the friends list going to be character to character instead of not seeing them on, like, say, an alt? I would like to see friends list be more account wide. So whatever your friends list is on one character is your friends list. Hoping the Spring does not change that too much for monks with loss of 2 instant damage text down to 1. Yo, Dementor, I totally missed that in the chaos. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I really, really appreciate that. Big time. Yeah, healers are carrying us hard for sure. Having 2 healers and them both being good at what they do, making all the difference here right now. I kind of don't really even want to think about pulling that room. I think that would be problematic. Lethal, it's good feedback. I'll take that, and you know, it's yeah, I'll take that back and we'll see. Because while I think there's some merit to the change to, you know, the single damage technique, and then you know, there's a couple of different ways we could slice it. If it turns out that the reduction to a single damage technique is problematic or too much, or, you know, whatever it is, there's always, you know, for example, we could have, we want to categorize the slots. That's the main goal behind that change. And so whether that's a single damage technique slot, whether that's 2 damage technique slots, and then a reactive, and then a utility, that's one way it could be handled. You know, with the reduction of the technique slot from 4 to 3, it could be that, you know, there's an additional action slot that's added. There's a couple of different ways that we could slice it. So I'm interested in kind of getting more insight into how some of the melee characters feel about that change. Pink Mingo, I'm pretty sure that's kind of what I'm in store. What's in store for me here is exactly that. Are the cave bats aggro? No. Okay. All right, I'm on the Death Weaver, so if we want to get the cave bat mezzed, if we can. Whoa. Dude, I tell you, it's gonna feel in situations like this. It's always nice, like when you finally level up, and because I'm so frustrated about how much I'm missing. I can't wait to like destroy these enemies, being able to hit them really well. Oh, Spectre, yeah. Like if there's something like that that's needed for like a quest item, it should drop. If it drops, it should drop for everybody who's on that quest. 100%. You shouldn't need to kill the same mob like 3, 4, 5, 6 times just so everyone in the group gets a chance to get one. Like if you're on the quest and the quest item drops, it should drop for everybody. That's on the quest. If you're not on the quest, then it shouldn't drop unless it's an item that can drop without being on, like without needing an active quest. Yeah, it's not a guaranteed drop, but if it drops, it should drop for everybody that is actively on the quest. Do we want to try to break into this room and hold this room, or do we want to just like chill in the hall? Let's try and break in the room. Be cool to have a place to just kind of set up and grind for a bit, especially if we can get the spawn staggered nicely. I can't tell if I like being zoomed in closer or further back on the warrior. Don't know. Lag. I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't typically play tanks in MMOs. Like I just have never really done it to any great degree. I'm a little nervous about getting hooked on it. Like I can imagine like getting to the point where you're like really well geared. You know? I feel like I can feel it. All right, we got 3. We've got 4. Oh, wait. Oh, are you kidding me? Wait. Are they on the Mystic or are they on the pet? I thought they were on the Mystic. I thought the Mystic had an ability that like hit him. That's what I was reacting to. Well, friends, we might be dead. Come here. On me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that it's I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the Mystic still has an ability that's like technically an AE that brought them all to us and then they jumped onto somebody else, or if the pet aggroed. I'm not sure. Hold on, I'm gonna try to get him on me. Yep. We did. So what we'll probably do different is, what we'll need to do differently is, especially when we're breaking into a room like that, just like keep pets back, and don't send pets in until we pull it back to the group, and then we can engage pets. Probably the safest way to do it. What's up, Mr. Still Rose? Yeah, and the NPCs, at least for several people in the group, including myself, the NPCs are a little higher level, so they're going to have a longer aggro range. How about the ranger who uses melee and ranged? They will drop down to 1 damage technique. How will that work? Will they choose either a ranged one or a melee one? Will the ranged technique automatically change to a melee technique when close? What does that mean for weapon skills at that point? Since it will change from a bow to the melee weapon of choice when close. Yeah, it would either be something where it would switch, based on the weapon type. As part of all these upcoming changes, we do need changeable bars to support some of the things we're doing with Summoner and other various things. So it's not out of the question that the bar could change based on what weapon you have active. But yeah, the introduction of 2 slots, which, when we put these articles out, we put them out to, try to capture the plans and kind of all the details that we have in mind and the goals we have in mind and kind of how we're envisioning these things to work. But don't forget the fact that, like, we're also wanting feedback. And so these kinds of points of feedback are really helpful, because it could be that, there's an edge case we didn't think about, or there's, any number of things that, as you guys read and chew on these things and discuss them, that, end up, yeah, I think that's a very reasonable thing to call out, Lethal. We will discuss that for sure. Yeah, the corpse recovery is going to be interesting. Very interesting. True. True. Will movement effects also affect mounts? No, they will not. So Spirit of the Wolf will not increase mount speed. Level 10 is big. You get Punish and Shield Mastery. You should probably go buy those. Also, you should auto-learn Strike at Breaking 2. Strike at Breaking 2. Okay. Hopefully soon. Cross Strike. A twofold attack that deals damage, dealing 10% bonus damage from behind. Okay. Still though, I wonder if Cross Strike is better than Forward Swing as like a DPS filler. I don't know. Malkale with the Prime. Thank you so much, Malkale. Good to see you, man. Nain Speed, did I thank you as well for your Prime in the 14 months? I can't remember, which bothers me. So, just in case, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. What are we patching this week? It is the plan. It is the plan to patch this week. That's not a guarantee. Summon and go. Hey, what's up, Zutarian? Good to see you. Thank you. Awesome. Let's get rid of the grinding stone. I don't know, like the agility dex jerkin is pretty tempting. I am gonna stay with strength for now, though. Yeah, I can't see my... I feel like my stats like aren't updating at all. I don't even know what my stats are. You know? Oh, yeah, okay. Got it, Cetarian, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I think we're ready. We're ready to start pushing back in. We're gonna bypass the bats and the riffraff. I'm assuming everybody's ready. I just went on ahead. Trying to make the experience as authentic to you guys as I can. Where the warrior just runs on ahead. Cross strike's very lackluster. It hits twice, but each hit is like 50% weapon damage, and each hit has a chance to crit. If they both crit and you're behind, that's the only way it's better than /. Okay, got it. Got it. Good to know. Yeah, I think I was premature, guys. We can wait. We can wait for Taverna to get settled. I feel like I'm getting the hang of it a little bit. I mean, when I'm fighting something that's low level like this, and my abilities are connecting, then it's like, okay, yeah, like I got this. This feels good. I understand what my abilities are doing. It's flowing nicely. So that was a huge part of it. Before, when you're missing constantly, it's like, you know, what am I actually? How do I hold threat? Now, it is a little bit crazy when you've got multiple NPCs in the mix. It's a little bit more wild. Oh yeah, let me move the group windows over. I forgot to do that. You guys can see that better. Perfect. 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 All right, we ready to move? We ready to roll? Hey, what's up, Diggy J? Good to see you. All right, let's keep moving up. We're gonna avoid the spider over here. I like that Punish is not on global. I like that. Now we're gonna get this. Is there a spider over here? Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. Move. Just read the dev diary. The reactive techniques sound awesome, and the trait change to be proc-based to go alongside it with this. Will the exposed debuff ones be removed, or are they the utility slot? They will not be the utility slot. The expose that system of exposed, I can say pretty confidently that we're going to be deprecating that and switching over more to the full kind of like NPC trait and techniques as an answer to those various traits system. And part of the collection and kind of the learning of different techniques will be to kind of expand the repertoire of what you have answers for, so that, you know, you can kind of synergize with what your group needs. I don't need another axe, so I'll leave that there. The block rating on the starting shield is 600. No other shield in the game has that since the AC removal rating increased. Punish will proc the most with your starter shield. just how you would expect it to be, right? Okay. Interesting. Tarian, this character is a self and group found only character, so I'm purposefully not accepting any items that I don't loot myself or get in the context of a group. So as much as I would love to, believe me. All right, let's move on up. Looks like we got a little guy coming out here. Maybe? No, he's going in. Okay, never mind. I keep forgetting that I can storm at these guys when they start to run. That's like, and it's fun. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that. Damage, don't need that. Hey, one sec, guys. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Just hearing a little, getting a little update on one of my kids at school today. So, it sounds like teacher maybe overreacted a little bit. I won't say that to him, but so I was just trying to getting a little bit of a download of that. And I can say that because I've been a teacher, right? Like I know what it means when a teacher does overreact a little bit. So, yeah. Why do you say that, Lethal? And is that in response specifically to the technique stuff? You think a lot of people are getting the vibe that this game is trending more towards WoW and less towards original EQ with some of the hand-holding and making everything accessible? I mean, I can't speak to whether they're getting those vibes or not, but I can definitely speak to the fact that that's not like... There's definitely a way to exaggerate that. Some of what you're saying there is true. Like, part of the goal is to address some of the accessibility issues that the game has had, where you've got, you know, what amounts in a lot of cases to kind of a forced grouping situation, and not even a forced grouping, but like a forced full grouping situation, or a very there's an 8-slot bag. I think I've got all 8 slotters though. So I think that's one of those things where I hear people saying that, but I don't, again, it's like, I have to look at that and say, you know, you guys did play EQ1. Like, you do understand that a lot of people in EQ1 soloed, duoed, trioed, like dungeons in EQ1 were not just full of only full groups. Like, there were all kinds of like different group makeups and group sizes and solo players and various things in EQ dungeons. So I hear things like that and I'm like, I don't understand like how much of it is kind of a misremembered nostalgia, how much of it is like people wanting the game to be different from EQ, and by making it more of a forced grouping game. I don't know. But EQ is not what I would call a forced group game. I think EQ is very... It was just very fluid. So, yeah, I don't get that part. I'm not sure what you mean by the hand holdiness either, though. I'm not sure what you mean by that. We can go ahead and move in here, guys. Oh, lethal. Okay, so you're saying it's not that with, like, the article from or the diary from today, for example, that the guild is saying based on this. I don't know if we're gonna come back in spring. It's more like we're hoping that the sum of everything coming in the spring, in particular the updates to classes, are going to be enough to like make them want to come back. I think I understand what you're saying now. No, it was the so I'm still not understanding what you're saying. Okay. What specifically about the article? I guess that's my next question. No, it was not. Okay. I think I understand now. It was not the article. Correct. Got it. Oh, looks like we got a little bit of competition. We got a little competition. Well, it wasn't not the article, but it wasn't not the article. What's this way? Is there anything meaningful over this way that we want to get into? I mean, this is probably better for us to stay on this level anyway, honestly. Let's move up to this little light here. Once you guys are done with the bag. Does Punish have a combat animation? No. What? Okay. Guys, the darkness is insane. I don't know, guys. I feel like we do want to go down. I don't know. I think we can handle it. I think we can handle it. We're gonna get repops though with this group moving down. So if they're headed, let's see what they're doing. Is this just a duo? Oh, it's a level 20, so 20 and 15. So they're probably just they're just probably just farming something. Let's head left. I'll pull it back. Pull it back. Boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. Okay. Dude, the fact that Punish, with this, like, awesome as Punish is, the fact that it doesn't have a combat animation is crazy. Alright, we're back to constantly missing again. That's good. Fun. Yeah, just don't pull 4 of them. It's easy. Yeah. I'm holding aggro. Wait, is this us? Drake 2? I don't want to steal from these people. I can't tell. Small Skitterfang is us. Okay. So I think the Mystic is not ours, but oh, okay, maybe it is ours. Alrighty then. Joppa, love the game. Got level 50 last spring. Looking forward to getting another 50 this coming spring. Yes! That's what I like to hear. Two questions about today's updates. One, is raising the skill cap from 3 to 5 per level going to feel much different, or still something you don't even notice as it always capped by the time you get to the next level? No, it will not always be capped by the time you get to the next level. And, I mean, unless you really, really, really... you know, are focused on doing exactly that. In general, it will take, you know, skills will generally start to lag a little bit behind. But we're also changing quite a bit of the formulas behind the skills to where it's not going to need to be capped every level to get the full benefit of like hit chance and things like that. So it will be something that you actively have to work on. And then, you know, the other thing, and this will be a lot more clear on Wednesday once we put out the mastery system information, but your skill progression is in many cases going to be heavily tied to your mastery progression, because skill level and certain skills are going to be prerequisites for advancing further in, you know, various parts of your mastery. Yeah, it's going to be so when we want to do things that are more like HP percent driven, or, you know, driven by different thresholds or whatnot, we'll likely handle those types of things through abilities. I'm not saying there wouldn't be certain, like, you know, ooh, this guy is, what, did he backstab me or something? There might be some exceptions to that with a few traits, but for the most part, traits are meant to be. So again, to put it in really clear context, it's something that I think most of you guys are probably more familiar with and have experience with. take something like armored. It's a really simple one. Armored. Right now, if you see an armored NPC, hey, look, this NPC that we're fighting right now is armored. Heightened armor class, reducing armor class combats this bonus. This NPC has a much higher AC count. In fact, it actually used to be a lot higher. We've nerfed it a couple of times. But it's meant to be a trait that you feel. So when you fight something that's armored, you're like, oh, wow, like, you know, physical damage is much, much reduced on this target because the armor class is so high. The kind of an example of the change we're making and the way that it's being adjusted is that the way it will work is instead of it being always on, like this is an armored NPC, so it's always on. If it's an armored trait NPC, that means that during combat, there will be a chance that it will trigger like an armor up effect. And that will be very potent. And so you will feel it when it happens. You'll be like, wow, my damage is like gone way down, like physical damage anyway. So you have a few options. You either can deal with that by being more of like a heavy spell damage group. And so you can continue to push through it because AC isn't being affected. Or there will be various techniques that different classes can learn with different weapons that can break through that armor up effect of the trait and nullify it, or essentially nullify it. And so part of your progression as a character, as you develop your skill with different weapons, collect different weapons, and then unlock different techniques. What, am I avoiding a question? What? I don't want to face the dearth of fried rice. Anyway. So you go out and you collect all these, different techniques, and then that means when you come into a group, you have, a potentially and growing arsenal of things that can deal with armored, things that can deal with frenzied, things that can deal with spellslinger, etc. Will there be weapon swapping allowed while in combat? That is still TBD. In some ways, it's going to come down to how well we can get the bar switching tech. But it's a possibility. Now there would be like a cooldown on that if we did it, so it's not something you could spam. But if you're switching weapons in combat, you naturally need to be able to switch up your technique and techniques along with that. So we just need to. It's a TBD. TBD. Okay, we're back. We did it, guys. So here's how we're gonna do this. If you guys want to stay generally where you are, I will pull. I'll pull back to us, and then once we get back to the group, we can engage pets and whatnot. But, okay, I think we're good. Come on. You're almost here. There we go. That's good enough. Aggro's getting a little bit easier to hold. A little bit easier. Nice. Are we going to see the time remaining on buffs when we mouse over target buffs? At least the buffs we cast on the target, perhaps. That would really be nice. Yeah. Yeah, the LOS does not appear to be doing anything. I think it's the kind of thing where they if they start casting, like they won't cast on you if you're not in line of sight. They won't start casting, but if they do start casting, then they're going to finish casting regardless. Which, you know, it's got, you know, it's not perfect, but it works. It's learnable. I think I'm more, there's an 8 slot bag there. I'm more, probably intuiting the way it used to be. Where you used to be able to like jump behind a wall after they had started casting and interrupt it. Whoops. I need to get that bound to something. That's annoying to click that every time. Hold on, let me bind that key real quick. Let's see. Shift G. Four bars away from your new pet. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, it is intentional. I mean, we do have it set up that way right now. There are different ways to do it. I guess we just say, hey, we can move into the room now. We can at least move to like this spot right here. Hello. Come on. Come on, friend. Cool. I'm gonna pull these two. Let's do the Skulker first. It's lower level. And just mez the Mystic. If we get both, we may only get one. We'll see. Oh, got both. Well, Stun Puds, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I do not have a cat, actually. I do not. Will buffs last after being removed from the bar? They will. That is definitely a change we're going to be making. We can move, I don't know, let's move like right here. And then I can pull from the, I can pull from that side. Well, here's a sewing needle. Copper ingot. I feel like that was kind of a dud. I will keep the bolts. Consider the bolts kept. All right, I'm gonna see if I can find something to pull here. Something has been found. If we were a little higher level, we absolutely would go after the chief. Absolutely. Okay. I was gonna say I'm worried about repops behind me, but nope. That's scary how they like light up like little pumpkins like that. Of course. Lag. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if we can chance making. Oh, we got an ad. We're gonna have an ad. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got two. We definitely got two. We'll do the we'll do this one first. This one. I stay away from the Discord. It's like a room full of hens clucking. Hens clucking. We have a few more. Gotta remember to do my shield block on those rip and tears. That sets up a juicy punish. Add. It's definitely harder to talk when you're tanking, you know? See if I can run him back. But I will say, I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. You know, I was talking with Fuso about this the other day. Like, I'm not like an elite level gamer, right? You guys can tell that. But what I do think is funny, and it is what it is, but for me, like, because I tend to, when I'm streaming, I tend to be very, like, interactive with you guys and want to talk and, like, think about questions and, hey, there's an enchanted quill. I feel like I might need this. Does anybody need this? I can't loot it because I'm not on the quest. All right. Incoming. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting the hang of this. And it's definitely easier to do the things when you just focus on doing the things while streaming. But now that I'm starting to get kind of a little bit more comfortable, then hopefully we can get back to chatting a little bit more. Dennis, I feel like I've probably missed your message. I didn't read it in time, but have a good trip home. Have a good trip home. Got some cave spider legs, got a little bit of some brown bubbles. We can all use those. Yeah, we should be getting room pop soon, so need to be on the lookout for that. Have chair speak for me? No, 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 absolutely not. Not after what happened last time. Oh my goodness. Got a repop. Yeah, room's starting to pop again, so. Hey, what's up, Mina? Thanks for stopping by. Good. I am really glad to hear that. I think spring's gonna be big. Very, very excited about it. Glad to hear that they're resonating. 6 damage, 1 stroke. Ooh, and that's faster. Does anybody need this sword? 6 damage, 1 strength. Anybody need that? Oh my goodness. Okay. Hold on, stay there. I'll pull back. Just need to interrupt him so it'll run. I will roll? Yeah. No. Well, Tavna, you said you liked swords and offhand, so I'll just give it to you. It's cool. There's more swords. I'll get one. Hold on, after this, I'll give it to you. Trade. Boop. No, it's all good. It's all good. Let me use taunt here. Got any other pops in the room? Okay, we're good. Yeah, I didn't see your message, thought I gave it to you, sorry. I will remember that, though, going forward. Pop. We'll go ahead and do Soldier next. Got a Geomancer mezzed. Nice. Good, good, good. I'm glad you're excited. We are in the age of imminence. Don't miss Wednesday streams where Joppa talks about mastery. Yeah, I'm telling you what, like, as amazing as all of the diaries have been, like, even from, like, our end, getting, like, all this information out there, you guys starting to be able to chew on it and everything. The one that is the one that is the one is mastery. That is a biggie. Oh my goodness. All right, lag. I see you. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is a biggie. That one is going to be like... We're going to have a lot to talk about. Man, I feel like there's some weird lag or something going on here. This fight is not following the rules. I was driving when this came up before, but people talked about turning it into WoW. People talking about turning it into WoW have lost their mind. Changes are almost literally EQ copy-paste with the goal of having similar accessibility. However, despite that, people see solo accessible in a blog and they immediately think, wow, it's nuts. I mean, I genuinely and typically try to be very generous with, like, leaving room for lots of different interpretations, and, you know, it, like... We all experience it in our day-to-day lives, that it's easy to misunderstand, misinterpret, not fully get the message on something, and no matter how many times you repeat it or try and clarify it, it can still get lost in translation. But I've been very surprised Okay, we got a bio break. I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I'll give it a second before I pull again. Yeah, I've been very surprised at, like, the response to soloing. Very surprised. Hey, what's up, Flanch? Can I speak to the skill progression detailed in the update? Do you want to give me, like, a specific question you've got about it? And I'd be happy to try to talk about it. What surprised me? Just how I feel like how synonymous EverQuest I feel like has become with sorry, I'm missing all of these rebuffs. It seems like EverQuest has become synonymous with like group only in people's minds. I don't understand that part. I'm gonna wait till everybody gets back. The only thing I remember you having to group up for in EQ, like had to group up for, was essentially like raid targets. Because, and I know that, you know, obviously dungeons existed and most people did group up for dungeons, but a lot of it depended on the level, right? So if you were, you know, in your low 30s and you wanted to go into lower guck, you were getting in a group. You had to get in a group to go into lower guck in your low 30s. Unless you were just, you know, plunking away at some of the frogs that would spawn right at the zone end or whatever. We're gonna have two. We're gonna have two. Seeing if we should yeah, we got two. Two soldiers. Mez, the one that I don't charge. Whoops. Oh no, that was correct. Good. No, yeah, soloing on a warrior, soloing on a rogue and EQ was something else. If it was even possible, I don't even know if it was fully possible on a rogue. I know warriors could solo a little bit when they got like Tantor's Tusk. They could like do their jousting if they had a fungi tunic. But without some special equipment, you know, warriors definitely struggled. But yeah, it's just interesting to me, just how much that's become like, and then, but then, you know, the interesting thing is Pantheon's actually been a reasonably good experiment in what that actually looks like, because the game has at many different points throughout its history, it has been, you know, it's swung into different degrees of actually needing a full group, you know, to do pretty much of anything. And I feel like the result of that has been just a very segregated player base where, you know, the majority of people who log in to play who can't get a group or whatnot, they don't have anything to do. And that was just never the case in EQ. Like in EQ, you could always kind of like carve out some spot for yourself. I mean, even going all the way back to like Blackborough and Kanos. I mean, I was happy to get a group in Blackborough when I could, but I was also just as happy to solo the giant snakes and try to get a few giant snake fangs to sell and make some money to hopefully try and piece together the coin to get at least a piece of bandit eventually, you know? Like, I remember that. And you also have to filter out what could just be people intentionally trying to like rattle the cage a little bit. I don't know how many people genuinely, truly feel that way. Could be just people, I don't know. I just feel like I don't think we need to see soloing as a threat to like good grouping. It's not. And I mean, honestly, if you're like me, if you're anything like me, what it typically, oh, did the sword drop? I will take it because I would like to use it. It is better than this axe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sweet. Yeah. Now I'm gonna miss again here for a while, but that's okay. Ooh, yeah, yeah. This is what I'm excited about, though, man. I'm so excited about these skill changes because it's like, I don't know. It's gonna be fun, really like locking in on something. Like I really, really love swords, so I'm going all in on swords for a while. I like how big these spiders are. They're scary when they're running at you. Anyway, if you're anything like me, when I played EQ, I kind of had, I wasn't like an altaholic to like an insane degree. My threat holding is going to be really rough here for a while, guys. Just while I get this sword skill up, I apologize. I'm not like an altaholic, a hopeless altaholic, but what I typically would do is I would have a character or two that were like my grouping characters, you know, like my cleric, and my monk, and then I had like my necro and my shaman. And those, when I, wanted to like play a character I could solo and just kind of be a little more free, I'd hop on the necro. But I would also spend some time on the cleric and so on. And it was nice. It was nice having different classes that did different things well. So anyway, I think it's a really good change. I think the people that are concerned about whether or not there's going to be enough challenge, I think they will be pleasantly surprised at how many levers we will still have to do that. Oops. I mean, I think the debate boils down to challenging grouping should reward the best loot. I think everyone can agree. So giving solo, duo, trio slightly less not only desensitizes the rewards of grouping, but takes dev time away from grouping. I don't personally get why people would want to have a focus of soloing in an MMO, since I don't know what ROG stands for. I get this, is just my opinion. Oh, RPG. Yeah. Since RPG games made purely for that exist. I don't know. I mean, think about it though. Like, one of the draws of these being kind of shared worlds is that, just like in real life, I mean, to me anyway, it's kind of cool that you have people with different personalities And, you know, you got the lone wolf personality and people that are more, I don't know, antisocial and just kind of... I mean, it's a funny example, but I've kind of always talked before about, like, how I never played a halfling in EQ. I just never liked the halflings enough to be one myself, but I loved them being in the world. Like, there was something about the halflings being in the world, even though I didn't play them, that I loved, because I thought they were ridiculous, you know, but I loved that they were running around. And kind of in the same way, like, when you've got different kinds of players in the world and some people that are, you know, off doing their own thing soloing versus, you know, full groups moving around, it's filling out the world in more of an organic way. And you get that variety of, like, when you go into Halnir Cave, I've used this example to death, but I want to feel those same vibes that I would feel in, like, a Crushbone or an Unrest or places like that, where, you know, you see the Druid in Unrest and wolf form, like, doing their thing, because I think the wolf form gave them, like, a bonus or kind of did something with their threat or their aggro or their faction where the skellies weren't aggro to them. And so that was a really cool thing, you know, that druids are able to do. And when I would go into these places and I would see these classes doing these cool things, sometimes on their own, that was part of what built so much of the mystique of EQ for me. When everything is fitted for really only being usable in a group, then I think you end up with, you know, kind of games more like, I think it's what, Fellowship, is that what it's called? Where it's like, it is a group dungeon simulator in a sense. Like, everything is kind of designed to just fit within this group framework, which, don't get me wrong, like, obviously grouping is the lifeblood and kind of the heart and soul of Pantheon, but at the same time, it was the fact that EQ classes had this kind of broader scope and spectrum of things that they could do that led to really interesting outcomes and just added so much replayability to the game. Like, now I do get the idea of disincentivization, I think is what we call it. And, you know, if you can get just as much grouping as you can soloing, or get as much soloing as you can grouping, or have access to the same thing solo as you can in a group. I get that there's something to be said there about disincentivizing grouping. But at the same time, I just don't know how true that is. So let's think about this for a second. And I know you guys get tired of hearing my analogies, but it's the experience I've had, so it's just what I use. But the Rubicite armor set, culminating in the camp for the Ruby BP, that's something that I was able to do on my Necromancer. And I purposely played a Necromancer that time on P99 green or teal or whatever it was. I purposely chose a Necromancer because I knew that I needed to play a class that was going to be able to solo and solo very well, and where I could target some of the things that I really wanted to do in my EQ career, so to speak. Let's mez the Crystal Keeper. Yep. Because I didn't have the time to spend grouping all the time. Just with, you know, work on Pantheon and various things, like... So I chose the Necromancer purposefully to be able to solo, to fit with my playstyle and schedule. And but also because it was going to be a class that would allow me by myself to target certain things that I really wanted to get. And whether it was the Guise of the Deceiver when it was still dropping, because this was early green, early teal, whichever one came out first. This was when those limited items were still dropping. I didn't get a Mana Stone, but I managed to get a Guise of the Deceiver and a Rubicite armor set, like a full set, and that's one of the things I really wanted. because I wanted to be able to twink, you know, a character with the guys and the Ruby full set, because it's just a flex, and I never did it before. So I picked a Necro purposely to be able to do that. Now, when I was camping the Ruby VP, I was waiting in line to camp it, and once I got the spot, behind me, a full group was waiting. And so when we say, like, being able to get some of the same things as a solo or a duo or a trio that a full group is able to get, there's something to be said about really thinking through, like, again, if EQ is the true north, and it is for a lot of us, what was it actually like in EQ? What could you actually do in EQ? It doesn't mean that, you know, EQ is the final word, but it just means, I think sometimes maybe people can forget, you know, how it actually works. I don't know. Oh, we got a pop. Whoops. By the way, Mind, what's up? Good to see you. Well, what do we have here? Found you on Twitch. Good to see you here. Nice. Yeah, glad you were able to make it. That was a horrifically timed shield bash. My goodness. Grats on Ding. Grats. The whole point of the standardization is that it doesn't take more dev time. It's the same mobs. At orange, group. At white, duo, trio. At light blue, solo. Same mobs, same content engaged with at different levels. Yep. Hoping the community doesn't turn mastery in this class must master this to be in our group kind of thing. Yeah, I hope not to. But, you know. But see that right there, that's another perfect example of what leaning too hard and heavy into group only or forced grouping causes. Is you get these situations where, because the game is so tightly tuned and tightly wound for full groups, there isn't as much freedom and lax to, like, try different things, because you're on this bleeding edge all the time. Yeah, indirect socialization. Yeah, I would love to group, but unfortunately, I have a hard time to coordinate with friends. 3 kids take much time, and I have to quickly pause, abort, restart, etc. I hope the game will be viable as a solo. Doesn't need to be easy, just doable. Yeah, I mean, mind you, it sounds like you and I are in similar, like, stages of life. I have 3 kids as well. It can be difficult outside of, like, a working hours, or, like, you know, playing Pantheon is part of my. You know, I've justified it, you know, in addition to my work day is, like, this is obviously part of my work. But outside of that, like, when you're in that stage of life, it can be very difficult. And I want those kinds of people to also be able to play and enjoy Pantheon, and this be the game that they lock into, you know? And the other thing to remember is, whatever the baseline ends up being, to the degree that it becomes more accessible to those types of players. I'm gonna bring this back. I just need to interrupt it so it'll follow me. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. That baseline does not need to dictate how far we can push it. Because when we want to create stuff that's really, really friggin' hard, that's going to challenge the best of the best, we can still do that. And that does not have to detract to the entry point for people who are not that. it's that barrier to entry that we want to like be really conscientious about. Because again, like part of what made EQ so magical was the fact that it was just such an open world experience. Like you really did have kind of a freedom to like, depending on your class and your level and your gear and your game knowledge and all these things. But as those things went up, your ability to kind of engage with more of the world went up. And you weren't bound to other players to do that strictly. Now, to finish my earlier point too, I'm not advocating and I'm not saying that a solo player should be able to get everything that a group can. That's not what I'm saying. And I want to make that clear. But what I am saying, in a way to kind of play devil's advocate, to just kind of like hopefully recalibrate some thinking a little bit, is you know, it's good to remember what actually was possible in EQ, to the degree that it's seen as a good standard, a reasonable standard. It's good to remember how things were done there, because do I want to see shaman soloing dragons? No. Do I necessarily want to see necromancers holding, you know, by themselves? What? Oh. Taking down like major bosses or something like that. No. But at the same time, I would say that I'm not necessarily opposed to a higher level necromancer or summoner, or, you know, any other class who ends up being a very, you know, strong solo class in Pantheon, at the right level with the right gear, being able to do some pretty crazy things. I think that's cool. And I think we worry sometimes too much about the wowification of things, that we forget some of the cool things that were possible in EQ, and even some of the cool things that were possible in WoW. I mean, you know, for example, like WoW Classic. Part of the challenge of WoW Classic, or at least part of the available challenge in WoW Classic, was when you, as a solo or a duo player, you know, would solo an entire instance, including bosses. Like, that's kind of cool. There were a lot of players who did that, and I didn't do that. I never was good enough to do that. But it happened, and that's a cool category of challenge to have in a game. Again, that's all part of like replayability, and you know, there being multiple things to be about doing in a game that continues to keep it fresh and interesting for lots of different types of people, without, you know, without chipping away at the core group centric, you know, vibe. I'm sorry. I'm in like autopilot mode. I keep right clicking everything that dies. Need to save some loot. Get off the wall. Looks like blade skills maxed now, which is cool. He dodged my stun, my interrupt. Bro. Careful, careful. That's quite a doozy. There's a key on there. I'm going to take a second to mine this because it's important. Yeah, the advanced loot system in modern EQ really, it is amazing. It really is. That's, I mean, one of the crowning achievements of like the modern EQ dev team. I think it was even the, I can't remember the lady's name. I think she took over. She's like the project lead for EQ, but wasn't that like her idea? I don't know, but it's awesome. It took me a while to get used to it, and then once I kind of got a sense of it and started using it pretty regularly, it was like, oh my goodness, like this is amazing. I think my group would appreciate me not trying to explain it and put it in words, because that would be, it's complex. But if anyone's up to explaining the gist of it, for those that don't know. Lag. Come on, lag. Why are we lagging so much today? Goodness. More so on how skills will progress and the overall goal of them. How can players focus on certain skills and the benefits to them for their class role? Hey, Dimos, what's up? Hey, Joppa, excited to go back to see episode 3 from the beginning. Hope your warrioring is going great. It is going good so far, except I think we might be, yep, there it is. There it is. Yeah, Flange, I can definitely do that. This will be interesting indeed. Hunted like a filthy gnome. Look at me logging back in. Okay. Oh man, it's just makes me laugh. The legs coming through the robe like that. Goodness. Did I go to Stormorna 1? No, I did not. Is that where everybody went? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. Yo. Okay. This will be interesting. Did we get experience rolled back? Let me, where? There you are. This is, Oh my sweet Christmas. Oh, I mean, this was like a full zone repop. Like, I mean, literally, like, everything reset. Bro. My key binding reset. It's not even set anymore. After this fight, I need to check and see if there's any mention of like something going on right now. Yeah, they do that from time to time. Oh, that sucks. Who else did we lose? And horses incoming. They are very soon. So Flange, how skills will progress? They will progress to some extent in much the same way they do now, except they will take longer. They will take longer to progress. And, you know, the ability to have multiple weapons, for example, that are up to date, you know, kind of capped, is going to be a lot more difficult to do. And so, there will be some ways to, like, through coin and some different things, there'll be some ways to catch up on skills that are, like, super far behind. But only up to a certain point, and then you'll need to to really lean into advancing them. And same with casting skills. Casting skills will be, you'll have your main casting skill or main couple of casting skills that you'll naturally, be more likely to keep up consistently. But then, you'll have to really work on some of the more secondary and peripheral ones. But you'll want to do that because part of progressing through mastery will be, developing your various skills like that. And that will also trigger, what techniques you can learn and things like that. So, how can players focus on certain skills and the benefits to them for their class role? Gonna have to step away to make dinner. Not sure how much longer y'all are going. I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, it's really weird, Glorf. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't think Mega Mage is logged back on. Has there been a decision about the subscription model at full release? D-Block, nothing that we have announced yet, no. Oh, Mega Mage, not Mega Mage. There we go. Yeah, Great Divinity. We're gonna be reworking how that goes. Need to get some bone fragments. I wish oh wait, don't I have bone frag? I think I have them in the bank. Oh, I left my course to the Bindstone. Great, good. Drainend, you don't happen to have Sao, do you? I was gonna run and grab some bone fragments. Dang, we've been going for 3 hours already. Guys, it does not feel like that fast at all. My goodness. Still only striker breaking rank 1. You definitely kind of get in the flow, though, Like, you definitely kind of get in the flow. I'll say it again, and I'll say it even more loudly this time because I feel it even more strongly. I really do not like Pulverize. Pulverize, to me, is like... just... Nah. Really don't like it. Yeah. It just, I don't know. So what I'm thinking here is, again, just very early thoughts still, but if we've got Strike of Breaking, if we're able to move that back onto a stacking ability, so that it's something that I'm able to hit multiple times while I'm, building threat on a target. We've got Mocking Blow in there. Kick. Good old kick. I mean, part of the problem right now is like I pay no attention to battle points at all. Battle points might as well not even exist. They're not really working the way they were originally intended right now. Case in point, namely that they're meant to be a build spend mechanic. So the fact that they're just there, always there, is well, let me rephrase. They're meant to be a build spend mechanic in the sense that you're meant to naturally have none to start with, and they're meant to decay. So when you start a fight, you're actually not starting with full battle points. You're building battle points from nothing when you start a fight, or with whatever ones you carry over from the fight before. That alone, I think, would make them a little bit more meaningful, because you would need to build them up to then use them. I don't have a banner yet, which might be because I just haven't. I need to check and see if I have any more abilities that I can get at level 10. I don't know if I get. Don't I get my first banner at 10? I think I do. So Trius, the Unyielding. Let me grab this. Let me just check and see real quick, and then we'll And of course I have no money. Is there anything I can sell? Probably not to make enough money to get that, so. Yeah. Alright, all good. Even if I sold the ore, it wouldn't be enough money to get a level 10 ability, I don't think. It's okay. I'm good. Go ahead and res me. Res me. I can't accept it, old blue. I can't. Oh, you need. Wait, who needed the bone chips? Was that you? Oh, sorry. I was standing right in front of you. Trade. All right. Man, that crash sucked. Dang, 7? 7 at one time? I don't think I've ever seen that many. I'll take it. That's okay. I'll get the banner next time I'm over there. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Oh, we need to summon Sutarian's corpse. Let me, where is Sutarian? Where are you? Sutarian? Okay. I'm gonna drop Maga Mage from the group. I'll invite Sutarian when he gets here. We can summon his corpse, and then I'll bring Maga Mage back in. Although, you know what? I will say this. It might be a good idea to call it here for today, because I don't know in relation to dinner time, I don't know. Old Blue, can you summon... Wait a second. What did I do? Hold on. I'm gonna invite Maga Mage back in because I think Old Blue is not here, so she can't summon. Maga Mage, when you get back, if you could summon Sutarian's corpse, that would be awesome. You don't have to be in group to summon? I thought we changed that. Huh. All right. Well, then never mind. Sorry, Sutarian. Oh, there's Old Blue. Old Blue, can you give well, I already had Shield Prowess and Punish. Yo. Sorry, Old Blue. But I will definitely... Thank you. And I'll give the other two back just in case you can get some money back for them. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I can read. Yeah, just keep punished and yeah, perfect. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Rageful Shout. That's a goodie. Shieldman's Banner. Nice. Oh yeah. There it is. Shieldman's Banner. Plant a banner of war near you for 5 minutes, remaining within 10 meters. The banner will increase your block chance and block rating. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Beautiful. And then Rageful Shout. That's going to refresh our taunt cooldown, which is awesome. Awesome. What do we want that to be? We'll do Shift V. Yeah. No. No. I want Shift V. I need a creature. Okay, that works. And then... Cool. Okay. All right. I think Sutarian has his corpse summoned. That is perfect. Guys, we're going to call it here for today. And I'm still hoping to do, just like last week, my goal is to try to stream daily, or at least stream more than normal during these 2 weeks, especially because we have Christmas time coming up and we've got all this news rolling out. So I would like to stream tomorrow. I'm going to try to. I will let you know. We will absolutely be back Wednesday, without a doubt, but we'll see if tomorrow holds up. And guys, awesome group. Like, a little less twinked than normal. We did have, I think, a 7th person today. So that helped a little bit, but I think we were much, much closer to kind of like this feeling a little bit more legit. Appreciate your patience and helping me, giving me the chance to kind of get my my land legs with the warrior. That was actually pretty enjoyable once we got into a flow state there. So really, really good stuff. And yeah, I think I'm going to probably pick it back up on the warrior again next time. So that may be tomorrow, definitely Wednesday. But until then, my friends, thank you again for the follows, the subs, the support, the excitement. Thanks for all the discussion, the feedback. Keep it up. That snowball's rolling. So good stuff. Good stuff yet to come. And keep that feedback flowing. Till then, everyone, that's a wrap for me. Please enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you very soon, my friends. Onward and upward. Adios.